So this is my day out on Onion Creek Road by Moab, Utah. And we're going to start the video out with a few creek crossings. Like, there are so many creek crossings, I don't know if I kept count of them at all. There had to be at least 20. And we'll cruise on through these creek crossings and get down into some canyons and have us a look around. It's a pretty amazing road for just Onion Creek, the most unsuspecting name you could ever imagine, with the most amazing views and cliffs. It was just way cool, way cool. Utah is one amazing place. So we come out of all the creek crossings and got into some high canyon walls and some amazing rock formations through this section. And my camera shook a lot, so I wasn't able to get all the good stuff. But we got some pretty good stuff here. The rock formations are just out of this world through this section. It's like so many roads in Moab area. You can just get onto them with a regular four-wheel drive truck, and a lot of them you don't even have to have much of a four-wheel drive truck at all. Like, there is very few parts of this where I really had to put my truck in four, and most of those areas were easily recognizable as don't need to go that far. Like, there's some big rocks that I had to go over and some pretty good dips, and I got my front end caught a couple spots, and that's where I had to chose to turn around. Because either I plow through it and go to the next one and get stuck worse, or just turn around and admit that I just can't go some places with my truck. And there was some four-wheelers to pass there, and that was about the only people I seen on this whole, like, 4 hours out and about on Onion Creek Road. It was a pretty cool adventure. This is some of the area that was leading down into those more canyon-like areas, and the whole trip was, I just have to say it again, it was such a cool day, and it's so easy. It was so easy. It only got rough when I got off in places where they were a lot less traveled, and you could tell nobody'd been there. So I don't want to scare nobody off from the getting stuck story. I didn't really get stuck real bad. I just got my front end caught a couple creek crossings that were rocky, and just shouldn't have been there. I figured I had a little more leeway going across the dip, but it didn't happen. So here's some more creek crossings. There's so many creek crossings. I've never been on a trail that had so many creek crossings, and none of them were crazy deep. It was kind of a light on snow winter this year, so there's not a whole lot of runoff coming from the high country anywhere. So yeah, it's just a great day out. Great day out. Onion Creek Road off of Highway 128 was the road I took that led me to Onion Creek Road. And Highway 128 itself is simply amazing. It skirts the Colorado River the whole way from I-70 down to Moab. The locals know it as the Red Mountain Road is what the locals called it. And yeah, the whole area is just red mountains. God bless it, man. Utah is just amazing. So this next clip we're getting into, this is one of those places where I got in pretty deep, and it was heading off to a remote campground. It was 19 miles north is what the sign said. So about a half mile into this road, it headed up this hill real steep, and through that fence and on down into some pretty tight switchbacks, and I'd say less than a half mile down this road is where I got to one of those creek gullies where it was just too steep to get my truck across it. It's where a Jeep, you could get across it pretty good, well, but my truck is just a little bit too long. I got out and checked things out, and I'm like, I want to get my front end hung on one side and my back end hung on the other. So I had to back up a little ways and turn around, and then headed back up and out of this trail again. But this was a really good trail, and I had to have it in 4 on this trail coming up out of here. Like, there's no way I could have made it up out with 2-wheel drive. It was really a steep trail. The camera never does justice to some of these things. Like, through this area here, it looks like you're going downhill, but it's really a really steep downhill grade right here. And that's why I was taking it so easy. So enjoy the little ride here, and I think the next video after this, the next section I should say, is coming back up out of here. And if I didn't have 4, or it would have been a hairy deal if I didn't have 4 in my truck. Front wheel drive might have been able to make it up out alright, or all wheel drive, but I know the ass end of my Ford, they're light, and if I would have had it in 2, it wouldn't have made it up out. So even in 4, I done a little bit of skidding. The wheels got a little loose in some spots coming up it, and it was so steep. It was so steep. So here we are at the end of the road on Onion Creek Road. All roads from here end up in dead ends, and here's the remote sign. This thing's ancient. It's LaSalle Mountains to the left, Thompson Canyon to the left, and Taylor Ranch is to the right about a mile, and it just turned around. And North Beaver Mesa, 19 miles. Then here's the funny part. There's a weight limit sign for 5 tons for the next 4 miles. Like anything would be able to make it out of this back here that I just went over, or the dead end out of the ranch. And I tell you what, I don't know how they get their cattle out of the ranch, because there's no way for a horse trailer to go back that way, or a cattle hauler. And if you can't haul 5 tons that way, I don't see how they do that, unless there's some roads on the other side of the ranch there. But I guess that's their concerns. But here it is, man. Utah is amazing, and I've been some places today. Some beautiful, beautiful country out here. Man, oh man. The old trucks took me some places.